Okay, so to start with, come to a comfortable seated position like usual. You can prop yourself up on a blanket if you would like. You can just sit normally cross-legged. Now place the hands on the knees, roll the shoulders back. Take a big inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out. Do that 2 more times. Big inhale through the nose. And exhale, sigh it out. And again, big inhale through the nose. And exhale, let it go. Okay. If you had the eyes closed, just slowly blink them open. And we will begin. Okay, so let's bring the hands to heart center. Hands together, palms together, in the middle of your chest. Interlace the fingers. Take a big inhale. As you separate the palms, lift the elbows. You might get a few clicks. Exhale, push away and round through the spine. So look down. Inhale, lift your hands above your head. It's okay if your elbows bend. Exhale, release. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Roll your shoulders back. Open the shoulders. Pull your hands away from your bum. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do that 2 more times. Interlace your fingers. Inhale, elbows up. Exhale, push away. Inhale above. Exhale, release. Interlace. Roll your shoulders back. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, hands to heart center. And again, interlace. Inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, push away around the spine. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, release. Interlace behind you. Open that chest as you inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Okay, it's just a lovely little movement that you can do even when you're like sat watching TV and stuff. Okay, let's inhale, bring the hands up. This time we're going to bend the right hand and tap the top of your back. Okay, so the palm of your hand is facing towards the back. Right shoulder comes onto the left elbow, pull it backwards. So we're not arching the spine here. We're not arching, sticking out your chest. Suck your core in. Can't get my words out then. Suck your core in, lengthen up, and just pull gently on that left elbow. Release that down. Inhale, lift your hands up. This time, right hand taps the top of your back. Left hand comes onto the right elbow. Pull it back slightly, lengthen through the spine. Keep your neck nice and long. Remember, deep breaths throughout all of this. And then gently release, and we're going to come all the way over onto all fours. Now, if you would like a blanket for your knees, then feel free to grab one. There is one pose that we do today that you might want a blanket for your knees. So just bear that in mind. Come to all fours, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees, spread your fingers nice and wide. Couple of cat-cows here. Inhale, stick the belly down, look forward. Exhale, reverse round the spine. Inhale, come down. Exhale, reverse. Again, inhale down, bring that belly as low as you can. Exhale, reverse. Now you can keep going with that movement, or if you'd like, you can inhale down, move your belly towards the right. Exhale as you round, come back through center over to the left. Inhale it back down and back to the right. Okay, so we're adding in a few circles with our spinal movements here. Now this can take a little while to get the hang of, so just give it a go. If it feels too much, just stick to your regular cat-cow. If you have done the circles, make sure you do it the other way as well. So now reversing. Exhaling as your spine rounds. Inhaling as you arch downwards. And then the next time you come back to center, keep it at center. Keep your hips above your knees. Take your hands out nice and long and drop your chest down to the ground. A little puppy pose here. Keep your elbows lifted. Really stretch through those shoulders. You can rest your forehead down on the ground if that feels okay. Just keep those elbows lifted. If you're a little bit more flexible, maybe you rest your chin. And then slowly lift your head. Walk your hands back in. Bring them about a handprint in front of your shoulders. So they're not directly under your shoulders now. You've brought them out a little bit. Hover over them, so it's like you're in plank pose, but with your knees down, and then slowly lower down to the ground. You may want to shuffle back if, like me, you've ended up near the top of your mat. Okay, bring your elbows underneath your shoulders, wrists in line with your elbows, okay, for Sphinx pose. Widen your fingers here, ground down through your toes, ground down through your pelvis. Use your back muscles here to lift your chest up. Try not to sink down into those shoulders. Really lift that chest. And then lower back down. Hands next to the chest. Elbows hugging in towards your back, so don't let them come all the way up to the side. Hug them right in. Inhale, come up into cobra. Exhale, back down. Inhale, back up. Exhale, back down. And this time, come up and look over your right shoulder. So look towards the right. Exhale, down. Inhale, look over your left. Exhale, down. And again, over to your right. And down. And over to your left. And down. Okay. Staying down low. Bring the arms down by the sides. Palms facing towards your body. Thumbs are down towards the ground. We're going to ground down through the pelvis and lift everything up. Okay, so imagine you've got a string now attached to your fingers and your toes, and they're all pulling you backwards. Okay, imagine your fingertips trying to reach towards your toes. Use your back muscles here to keep your chest up. Make sure you're breathing. And then use your hands as a pillow and lower back down. Okay, hands next to the chest. Push back up onto your knees. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Okay, coming into our flow now. So from your down dog, let's just bicycle out the legs for a second. So bending one knee and then the other, but taking it nice and slow. No fast movements with the legs. Just slowly warming up those hamstrings. Okay, toes together at the back of the mat. Lift your right leg up high behind. So three-legged dog, kick that leg up. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, step it up in between your hands. Lower the left knee for your low lunge. Remember, you can always come to all fours and get that leg up if you need to. Either hands on the ground or hands on blocks. Sink those hips down low. Find some balance here. So a good way to keep some balance in your lower body here is to imagine that you have something in between your thighs and you're squeezing them together. And then inhale, bring your hands up above your head. Keep those hips sinking down low. From here, look up. See if you can lean those hands back a little bit. Don't worry if you lose your balance, just come back in. And then inhale, lengthen up again through the spine. Bring in either your right hand down to the floor or to a block. You're going to lean over towards the right side. Now, if that feels too far, you can always do this with both your hands up, just leaning slightly over towards the left, right. Okay. Find your balance. It's a little side stretch through the left part of the body. Inhale, hands back up. Bring your hands back down to frame your right foot. Right knee steps back to meet the left, hover over your hands, vinyasa. Lower down to the ground. Inhale to your cobra or up dog. Exhale back down. Push back up onto your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Okay, toes here at the back of the mat. Right leg's going to lift up again. Yes, we're doing the same side. Bend the right knee. Bring your right foot towards the left hip. Okay, so you're opening your hips now to the right side. Now up to you. You can either stay here, or if you'd like, you can flip the dog. So flip it into wild thing. Come forward so that shoulders are over your wrists. Then drop your right foot behind you. Lift up your right hand. Lift the hips. Right hand up. Come back over to downward facing dog. Okay, same side again. Right foot back up. Step it back up in between the hands. Lower the left knee, so we're back to that low lunge. Right leg is still forward. This is where you may want something for your back knee, okay? We're going to come into a little bit of a quad stretch here. So plant your left hand down. Bring up your right foot towards your right bum cheek. Now you can stay here, hugging that right heel as close to your bum as you can. You can bring your right hand onto your right knee. The other option is to reach behind, grab that foot and bring it closer. Now, as you bring it closer, you're going to roll onto the top part of your knee. So you're not right on your knee, you're just above it. If you get any cramping, I always get cramping on this side. It's usually a good sign that you need some hamstring strength. Rock out of it. So bring that left knee up, rock back and forward, and practice the strength instead. So just hold it there, okay, without grabbing it and pulling it closer. Left foot back down. Plant both of your hands. Take your right knee back to meet the left. Sit back onto your heels. Again, a couple of options, okay? You're going to bring either the left, bring the left hand behind, lift the hips, right hand comes up into kind of like a variation of a camel pose. Exhale back down, right hand comes behind you. Lift your hips, left hand reaches up. Okay, that's version 1. So keep going between that if you want to take that version. The other version is to come up off of your heels, tuck your toes under, left hand reaches towards your heel, and you can do the same thing. Okay, bring your hips forward, right hand down, hips forward, not up, hips forward, left hand over, back down, other side. Okay, so 2 different variations there, whichever version you would like to take. Come back to all fours. Vinyasa. Okay, so again, up to you how you like to vinyasa. You can come into plank and do full chaturanga. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. So take your variation. Couple breaths here. Then we're going to repeat all of that on the other side. Okay. Toes together at the back of the mat. Left leg reaches up high this time. Exhale, step it through in between the hands. Lower your right knee. Low lunge. Sink those hips down. Shuffle your left foot as far forward as you need to. Find that balance. Imagine hugging your thighs together. Inhale, bring the hands up. Keep those hips down. Look up slightly. Reach back. Reach back up, lengthen through the spine. Maybe grab hold of your right wrists now and lean towards the left. Again, you can either do this or place your left hand onto a block. Just a little bit of a side stretch. Inhale, back up. Exhale, plant the hands down to frame the left foot. Left knee comes back to meet the right. Hover over your hands, vinyasa. Inhale to up dog or cobra. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Remember, vinyasas are always optional. You can skip them and come straight to down dog. You can take the easier variations. Choice is yours. Okay, toes together at the back of the mat. Inhale the left leg up. Bend the left knee. Open that hip towards the left side. So your left hip is now coming down towards your right bum cheek. Option to stay here or roll forward into plank. Drop that left foot behind. Left hand comes up. Lift your hips. Lift your left hand for wild thing. Come back to downward facing dog. Toes here at the back of the mat. Left leg raises up high. Exhale, step it up. Lower that right knee, low lunge. This is for your quad stretch, so set up that blanket if you need it. Plant your right hand. Maybe the left hand comes onto the left knee. Lift up that right foot. Again, option to either hug it in towards the bum or reach behind and pull it in deeper. Whatever position you take, just still try to sink your hips down low. And you might find, like myself, you can do it on one side and not so much the other side. Release the right leg back down. Left knee comes back to meet the right. Take your variation of camel. So either hands to the ground or hands to the heels. Left side first. Lift the hips. Exhale down. Other side. Lift up. Do that 2 more times. Down. Lift up. And down. Lift up. And let's take our vinyasa. So hands down. Hover over. Come up to plank or keep your knees down. Cobra or up dog. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Okay, let's go through that a little bit quicker now. Take a couple of breaths here. Remember to take whatever variation you would like to take. You can always skip the vinyasas, either go to child's pose or stay in down dog. Toes together at the back of the mat. Right leg inhale up. Exhale, step it through, low lunge. Inhale, bring your hands up. Slight back bend, look up. Reach up, grab hold of that left wrist, lean it over to the right, little side stretch. Inhale back up. Frame the right foot, take your right knee back to meet the left. Vinyasa, lower down. Inhale to cobra or up dog. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Bend the knee, open the hip. Option, stay there. Or wild thing, lift those hips. Right hand comes up and over. Come back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Exhale, step it through. Lower that left foot. Option for quad stretch here. Either bring that foot in or grab the ankle. Sink it down. Releasing that. Bring your right foot back next to the left. Option for camel pose, either hands on the ground or hands on the heels. Inhale, lift up. Exhale down, sweep it around. Inhale up. Exhale down to the other side. Inhale up. One more time. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down and vinyasa. Take your variation. Let's meet back in downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. So remember to take your time, because we do always rest in between the sets. So there's always time to catch up. Okay, toes together. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step it through. Low lunge, find your balance. Inhale, bring those hands up. Slight back bend, look up. Lengthen up through the spine. Grab hold of that right wrist, bring it over towards the left side. Inhale back up. Exhale, frame that left foot. Vinyasa. Hover over your hands, lower down. Cobra or up dog, and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. Left leg inhales up. Exhale, open the hip, either stay there or drop it behind for your wild thing and lift up. If you're in wild thing, lift those hips as high as you can. Come back to downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg back up. Exhale, step it up in between. Lower that right foot. Quad stretch. Either bring it in or reach behind and sink those hips down low. Letting go of your right foot if you had it. Left knee comes back to meet the right. Camel variations. Grab hold of the left ankle or the floor. Inhale up, right hand up. Exhale down, other side. Lift those hips, really reach them as far forward as you can. Back down, over to the left. Back down, over to the right. Back down, vinyasa again. Hover over your hands, lower down. And come back to your downward facing dog. Couple of breaths here. And then let's bring our toes together, knees as wide as the yoga mat. Sit your hips back for child's pose. Drop your head down. Arms go out long above. Just try to slow down the breath a moment. And slowly lift the head, walk the hands back in. Let's come to sit on our bums. Bring your legs out in front. I'm going to come into what's known as staff pose. So bring your heels hips distance, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Make sure your heels are still down on the ground. Arms come down by the sides, palms flat, and sit up really tall. So this pose may not look like much, but everything should be turned on here. Your legs should be engaged because your toes are pulling back. Your hands are pushing down. Your spine is lengthening up. Couple of breaths here. And then release that. Let's come down onto our backs. Grab hold of the knees, slowly lower down. Hug those knees in. Okay. Let's plant those feet flat on the ground, quite close towards the bum. Palms face down. Do not turn your head when you're in this position, okay? So if you need to see what I'm doing, lower down. Take a big inhale, lift those hips up off the ground. Keep your knees hips distance. We don't want them opening up here. Lift your hips up nice and high. And exhale, lower back down. So option here, you can stick with your bridge pose, or if you would like to try, you can come into wheel. If you come into wheel, do this in stages, nice and slowly. Hands are going to come up by your ears, fingers facing towards your shoulders. Lift your hips up into bridge first, then come up onto your head. And then from here, make sure that your feet and your hands are set up correctly. Then you can push into your hands and lift all the way up. Make sure that you can breathe here. And to come out, you're going to slowly lower down onto your head and roll down through the body. Obviously, completely optional. You don't have to do that. You can just come into bridge. If you were in bridge, lower back down. Just take a breath here. And then one more time, completely your option here. You can come back into bridge or one more wheel. Now we've warmed up the back slightly. If you are up in wheel, push your chest backwards towards your hands. It's going to help you to get that nice rounded wheel shape. And back down if you were up. If you did come into wheel, just roll your wrists out. Let's hug those knees in. Just take a few circles on the low spine. So just roll your knees one way. And then the other way. And then bring your knees to a tabletop position. Knees above your hips, arms in line with your shoulders or cactus. Drop your knees over to the right. And either look up to the ceiling or look over your opposite shoulder. Try to relax everything here. Just give that spine a little bit of a stretch out. And then back to center. Dropping your knees over towards the left. Again, either looking up to the ceiling or over your opposite shoulder. Maybe even closing down the eyes if that feels okay. Inhale, bring them back up. Hug your knees in one last time. And we're going to make our way down into Shavasana. So make yourself as comfortable as you can. You can grab a bolster, a blanket if you are in a cold room. I whacked up the heating before this class because it was freezing in here. And make your way down as comfortable as you can get. Maybe tucking the shoulder blades under slightly so you can open the chest a little. Maybe one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Closing down the eyes if that feels okay. Take a big inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Again, big inhale. And exhale. Again, big inhale. Let it go. Just come back to your natural breath. Just take a quick body scan. Check that nothing's tight, that you're not holding on to any tension anywhere. Relaxing on the muscles in the feet, legs, the torso, the arms, the hands, the whole of the head. And feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. If you are ready, gently wiggle the fingers and the toes. Take a nice big stretch up overhead, maybe a yawn if you need one. Gently rolling over onto one side. And slowly pushing yourself up to seated. Let's inhale, bring those hands up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. Just a quick thing before I head off today. With most classes, but especially back bends, really be mindful of your body, okay? Going into wheel pose is quite a big pose to come into, and if you rush that, that's where you could accidentally injure yourself. So make sure you do take it step by step, you know, hands, then the hips, then the head, then lift up. And if you do need any help with any of these kind of poses, feel free to post it in the Facebook group or give me a message and I will see what I can do to help. Thank you so much.